Movie story recaps here. The movie starts with a scene of a girl named Giselle who goes to a gas station and there in a store, she asks the shop owner for some things but the owner answers with truth or dare. She starts to cry and says that she can't play this game anymore but still he keeps on asking truth or dare. Afterward, Giselle puts the lady in the store on fire, saying sorry to her, while putting her on fire. But that lady got burnt and died there. Then the scene shifts to a girl named Olivia who is making a YouTube video. Then Olivia's best friend Marky comes there and asks her to go with her on vacation. She refuses, but after Marky forces her she agrees, then both of them with some of their friends leave for Mexico. We can see that they were having a great time in Mexico when in the bar Olivia meets a guy named Carter, who becomes her friend while talking. Then other friends of Olivia also come there who wanted to party all night. They tell Olivia that they wanted to go to a place where they could party all night because that bar was about to get close. Then on this Carter tells them that he knows a place where they could party all night. Olivia didn't want to go with them, so she tells them that she wants to go back to the hotel, but Olivia forces her to go with them. Carter takes them to an old church. They all gets very shocked, but then Olivia takes a selfie and all of them starts to play truth or dare. When the turn comes to Carter, he chooses truth and tells all of them that he used Olivia as a target and that he was in search of such people who were friends and could come with him if he called them. He also tells them that they all have to play a game there. No one understands him, so they take this all as a joke and ignore him. He then tries to go out from there, but Olivia tries to stop him, but he tells her that this game was true and now they have to play this game. He also tells her that if they try to leave this game they will die, and even if they won't complete the dare they will die. This game won't leave them anywhere. They had to complete this game and that they have to follow all of the rules. Carter leaves after telling this her, but she does not take anything seriously. But when she turns back to her friends, none was there. Then suddenly all of the high-end appears there. All of them had a very terrible and scary face, but it was not true, it was just Olivia's illusion. But then she again sees all of her friends completely fine waiting for her. Olivia gets very scared there, so her friends take her from there. The next day when Olivia goes to her class to take the lecture she sees that someone had written truth or dare on her desk. She gets very confused but ignores it. She goes home and sees some pamphlets. One of the pamphlets had also written truth or dare. She gets very shocked and goes to her room. Then we can see Marky coming in and telling Olivia that her father had committed suicide, and she also tells her that after her father, she was the one who she trusted the most. On this Olivia says that she has not seen any mistake in her best friend who was going to be her husband too, and that she was not interested in him at all. Marky believes her and gets very happy. When she comes out of the house, she sees that someone had also written the truth or dare on her car. She starts to get angry at the boys standing nearby because she was thinking that they were the ones who did it, and she starts to scream at them. She then goes to the library. She notices that everyone was looking very scary and all of them were asking her truth and dare while surrounding her. And they force her, so Olivia chooses the truth. All of them ask her what secret her friend Marky is hiding from her. She says that her best friend Marky is cheating on her husband Lucas. Everyone hears it with Marky and her friend Lucas too. On which he gets furious and starts to leave. Marky also goes behind him for making him understand. Olivia apologizes while holding her hand. Marky says her not to dare to touch her again or she'll break her hand. Then we can see a friend of Olivia who was playing a pool game. He there tries to talk to a girl, but she gets up and starts to leave. When suddenly she changes in a strange way and asks Olivia's friend truth or dare, on which he chooses dare, but as he does to complete his dare, so he also gets changed, so he himself takes his life from falling from the table. Everyone gets scared after seeing this. In the next scene, we can see Olivia telling her friends about this truth or dare game, but none believes her. They take all of it as a joke and then gets a video of their friend who died on the pool table. All of them get scared. Olivia understands that whatever Carter said was true and their friend died because he could not complete his dare. She also tries to tell this to all of her friends, but Lucas does not believe her and leaves. On his way back he hears a voice which was calling him towards him. Later he sees a wall painting on which it was also written truth or dare. He means he had to choose between these two. He thinks that all of his friends did this with him jokingly, but then his hand starts to burn, and after some time, he sees truth or dares written on his arm. He understands everything and calls Olivia. He tells her everything and also tells her that he always liked her. Actually here he was revealing his truth after choosing truth. Lucas again goes to his friends and tells them all about this game. Olivia then shows all of them their selfies were taken in the church and tells them that their turn was moving according to this picture. Marky still was not believing and was considering all this a lie. Then she also gets a text message in which she also had to choose between truth or dare. Olivia asks her to reply, and Marky agrees on replies with a dare. As a dare, she had to break Olivia's arm. Marky was not ready to do this, but Olivia was taking all this very seriously, so she forces Marky to break her hand with a hammer, and she breaks her hand. They then take Olivia to the hospital. In the hospital, when one of her friends was taking out a snack, he feels like an old man was behind him, but that old man was dead already. Then someone asks him to choose truth or dare. He does not understand anything, then suddenly that old man attacks him, and Olivia's friend says the truth. The man disappears when he says the truth. Then we can see a police officer coming towards him. He was talking normally, but in a second his face also changes, and he tells him to tell the truth. He goes to his friends and tells them what happened to him, and also tells them that the game forced him to tell his father the truth, that he was not a good guy. Olivia's friend was feeling kind of refreshed after this. Then after seeing the selfie sequence, they understand that the next turn was of one of their male friends. They tries to text him, but he ignores them because he was going to an interview. We can see then that their friend's interview starts, and on another side, all of his friends also come there. They see that their friend was coming out after giving the interview, but then he remembers that he left his bag inside. He again goes inside to take his bag inside the cabin, but then the lady inside locks the door and asks him to choose between the truth or dare. He chooses truth, but he lies there, so his face also changes. He takes a pen and stabs it inside his own eye and bumps his head with a wall and he dies. All of his friends get very scared. After reaching home, Marky says that Carter was the one who started this all. When Marky was searching for this game, she finds about Giselle. There she finds a video of Giselle. We can in the starting of the movie when she puts a lady on fire. So they start to check his profile. When in one of the selfies she finds Carter also. They make a fake account and ask Giselle to meet them as the police were also finding her. Then we can see one of Olivia's female friends who also had to choose between truth or dare, on which she chooses truth, but the game forbids her and tells her that if two people constantly have chosen truth, then the next person has to choose dare. Marky asks everyone to check outside of the house, where they find their friend when they get to know that game has given her the dare to roam around the roof while finishing the alcohol bottle. They try to save her, and they start to walk with her with a mattress, so if she falls, she must fall on the mattress and not get harmed. When on the way there was a gate with sharp rods on it, Olivia breaks it with the help of her car. Meanwhile, their friend finishes the bottle, and she was about to fall onto the car, but her friend put the mattress on the car, and she falls on it. At the same time, Olivia gets a message from Giselle who was asking them to meet her. So they all go to meet her, but suddenly Giselle comes to them. She was very scared when all of them asks her about Carter. She tells them that he was her friend and the game gave him the dare to trap other people. While talking, she apologizes to Olivia. Olivia gets scared and surprised that how did she know her name when she never told her. Then Giselle points a gun at Olivia and tries to shoot her, but Olivia's friends catch her. Actually, the game had given her the dare to kill Olivia. As she couldn't complete her dare, her face starts to change and she shoots herself and dies. All of them get shocked after this. Olivia with her friends goes to a detective and she tells him everything about the game and how her friends also died because of this game and some other people too. After listening to this, detective asks them not to go out of the city. In the next scene we can see Olivia gets a dare to live with one of the market's friends, on which Marky gets very angry. Both Olivia and Locus goes to complete their dare. After searching about the game again, Locus finds a survivor of this game who was a nun and was very old, and somehow she had escaped the game. So all of them go to her to meet her, but they discover that she doesn't talk to anyone, means she cannot talk anymore. But all of them request her and tell her their problem, so the lady also tells them the mission of the game by writing it on a note. They understand by this that someone had called the demon to buy this game, and that demon has possessed this game, and that the demon can possess the location, people, and even people's ideas. And the first players of this game were none else but this lady and her friends. The game made this lady kill the priest. She also tells them that the one who releases the demon can only imprison him again. The lady gives them a spell which they had to spell 7 times. She also gives them a pot. Seeing that pot, Olivia remembers that they had also seen the same pot in the church too, which was broken there. The lady tells them that they have to cut their tongue while spelling the spell she gave them. By this, the demon will again get imprisoned in that pot. Here we also get to know that the lady could not speak because she also had sacrificed her tongue. After reaching home, they had no idea who could break that pot. Olivia then says that Giselle told them about a guy who maybe had broken this pot. During this, a police officer arrives and asks one of Olivia's friends to come out and talk to them. Olivia calls Marky when she gets to know that Marky and Locus chose the truth, and after that, her friend who had gone out with the officer has no other option than to choose dare. Then we can that Olivia's friend talking to the officer, then the game gives him the dare to make the officer compel and beg for his life. When he forces the officer to do this, another officer arrives there and shoots Olivia's friend. Both Olivia and Locus also come outside and get very scared after seeing this. Then both of them go to Marky, and then the game asks Olivia to choose, and she chooses Dare, and the game asks her to reveal the secret that she has not told anyone and was keeping a secret for a very long time. She gets very scared, but then she reveals her secret to Marky and tells her that she was there when his father committed suicide and that she knows everything that happened there. She tells her that one day she went to Marky's house after having an argument with her parents, but at that time her father tried to misbehave with her because he was drunk. When he came back to his senses he could not bear this and committed suicide. Marky gets very depressed after this and leaves. Olivia then goes to the detective who tells her that everyone who had played this game only 4 people are alive. Olivia, Lucas, Marky, and Giselle's friend. She gets very shocked after listening to Giselle's friend and asks about him, and the detective shows him his picture, and it was none else but Carter. When Olivia investigates more about him she gets to know that he was living in an apartment. And Giselle had lied to them because she wanted to save her friend. In the next scene, we can see Marky who was very depressed and was about to commit suicide, but Olivia arrives there and stops her and tells her about Carter. All of them go to Carter's apartment. He gets very scared after seeing them, and until now he himself was tired of this game and had lost the courage, but Olivia asks him to calm down and tells him that they can still get out of this game and it was only Carter who could do this. Carter thinks that they were lying to him so he starts to beat them, but Olivia points her gun at him and warns him to end this, so Carter agrees to go to them. Then they go to the church where Olivia gives him the spells and asks him to read those during this game, gives dares Lucas to kill one of them, but he didn't want to do this, so he goes a little far from them. When Carter reads those spells 7 times, Olivia asks him to cut his tongue, but he refuses to do this. Olivia warns him again and tells him that she'll shoot him and also tells him that if he wanted to get out of this game he had to do this. Now as Lucas had not completed his dare demon possesses him and he goes to kill Carter, but Olivia and Marky catches him. Meanwhile, Carter cuts his tongue, but the possessed Lucas kills him and then also kills himself. After all this Marky and Olivia get very scared because their best friend also dies. Now the game asks Marky to choose which she chooses Dare, and the Dare asks her to shoot Olivia. Not wanting to do this Marky still shoots Olivia on her shoulder. Now this time Demon also possessed Marky. Olivia then says that he was also now in game as he was in Marky's body now. Olivia also asks him to choose between Truth and Dare, on which the demon chooses Truth. Olivia asks him how they could get out of this game safely on this. The demons tells her that they cannot get out of this now because only Carter could do this, and now he was dead, and now she had only 2 options: tell other people about this game and trap them or get killed. Then the scene changes and we can see that Marky and Olivia both have escaped from there safely because Olivia had told us about this game through her YouTube video. Due to it, all of the people who have watched her video are now part of this game. The movie ends here.